What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of having new XFC heavyweight champion, the winner of an eight-man, one-night tournament live on UFC Fight Pass as of this weekend. He is the Destroyer, Rob Morrow. Rob, how are you doing, my man?
Hey, good. Great to be here. Thanks for having me on the show. And especially after this type of weekend, it was awesome. Can't wait to share my experience and everything with all you guys.
No, man, and that's all this kind of platform is, just kind of share experiences. And you know obviously 2020 has been a crazy year for everyone, but you have shown, especially as of this weekend, that even though tough times last, people always tend to shine through. So obviously there was a you could have said no to this fight. You could have, you know kind of, there was a litany of things that could have gone on, but no, you answered the challenge, as did seven other gentlemen. And then another four on the undercard, right? The two in between fights. You guys all answered the call, and I mean, you're the winner of not only $10,000 cash, an interview with Frank Mir, but championship gold to your already illustrious career.
Yes, it's amazing. It's surreal. All the ups and downs throughout my career over these last. I've been fighting since 2015, actually competitive. I've been training since 2004, and I had like 2 years of wrestling before that. So, but over all these years, just to finally, to get a belt, that's what we do. That's what we want to be champ. We always want to be better. And I mean, I've hit that over the years. I've got some here with me. I've got different titles and things like that. But that's our goal, is always to better ourselves and get that belt, to be the best.
No, absolutely. And you know what I absolutely loved about this particular, fight scenario, right? Is, you often hear, oh man, I don't watch UFC anymore. You remember the days when it was like, eight dudes all at one night and whatever, and they used to beat the hell out of each other. Well, for those fans that say those things, I mean, XFC had your ticket. Like that's it. Eight dudes. I mean, some of the, you know, I mean, the most technical strikers, in a heavyweight division. And some of the, I mean, you had the Destroyer, you had Super Demario, you had Boom Boom. So just in name recognition, like, this is awesome. Like, heavyweights, one night, slinging it out, and again, literally, I mean, masters of the cinematic universe, so to speak.
Yes, I mean everybody on there. I mean, like you said, I mean you got Randy Blake, who's a ISKA champion. He's a world champion. He's fought like the who's list. I mean, he's fought Mirko Krokop. I mean, he's fought Maurice, uh, not Maurice Jackson.
More
I
Smith.
I know the names, but man, he's just fought like everybody. And then you've got Demorio. You got guys from Glory. I fought Demorio's brother, um, Myron, who's he was no like number four in Glory kickboxing for a while. Just to be able to fight these guys. That's what we do. We don't want easy fights. Fighters want the toughest fights because that's what brings out the best in us. I want a challenge. I don't want to. I don't want to just get the win, and do what? I don't solidify a legacy, but getting out there and going against the toughest guys, the top guys, that's what's going to make you somebody.
No, 100%. Now, Evan Hardwell, who is chiming in on YouTube, he says, "Hell of a name, the Destroyer." How'd you come up with it?
It was like I started off in kickboxing, and I was different names. I was White Lightning, Short Fuse, Time Bomb, because I had like an aggressive, like, you just punched me, like I'm punching, I'm hitting back, um, like even if I'm rocked. But then I started like finishing people. I was 22-0 as an amateur MMA, because I went from kickboxing to MMA, and I was just finishing people. And the Destroyer that kind of came out. And you know, I'm an old school guy. I like Conan the Barbarian, and especially movie number 2, which is Conan the Destroyer. I mean, it's Conan, you know. And then that name kind of stuck through it, and I just got to live up to do that and be a destroyer. Go out there and finish whatever obstacles are in my way, whether it's life, work, home, or in the gym. You know, that's what we do. We destroy the obstacles.
Damn right, damn right. And that was a brilliant question. Thank you, Avan, for chiming in, a former guest of the According to Woods show. So thank you for that. Now, obviously, I kind of want to dial it back, right? Because obviously, I mean, if you're saying 2015 was essentially your kind of entry point in combat sports. I mean, you've notched a hell of a time. I mean, close to 40, I mean, over 40 fights. You know, that's just in MMA, let alone the kickboxing, you know, fights, the amateur MMA fights. Like you have such a short span, you've crammed like 8 careers, literally 8 careers into like 5 years. That's amazing.
Was 2005 was my first competition.
Oh, 2005, 2005.
2005, not 15. That'd be way too many. Um, so for my career, I went in kickboxing. You know, I grew up old school. My dad's old school Vietnam vet. He who was in karate and stuff like that. And the guy's 74 now. He's the guy that raised me, made me who I am today. The uh, our thing would be to watch Lion Fight or Lionheart. We'd watch Kickboxer, Bloodsport. Like he introduced me to those things, and I always wanted to grow up and live the life of kickboxer. I wanted to go to Thailand and train and fight and learn the art. And then we started getting into like UFC when UFC one came out. I'm only like 7, 8 years old, and like, oh, this is cool, but I wanted to watch the strikers. You know, it's just something I always liked was the striking art, and so I started competing in that after high school. You know, I had my first daughter on the way, and I wanted to. I'm like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not doing college like I should have. Life didn't go as planned. So, what can I do? I could be a fighter. You know, I could give them something to look up to. So I got into this, and I went 7-1 in kickboxing, becoming 2006 IKF North Central Regional Champion. Then I went on to uh, I went into 2007 to the Kick International Waco to become the U.S. National Champion. And then I had the option to go to Coimbra, Portugal to fight for the Worlds, but we had to find our own rides, you know, our own travel. Well, I ain't got that type of money. I got kids and things like that. At the time, was only like two, and going through a lot in life and divorce at such a young age, and I wasn't able to do it. And then I started doing MMA because like I'm sitting there punching the bag, looking over at these people rolling around on the ground, like what are they doing? You know, like I'm like, yeah, that's not cool. You know, like you gotta get a knockout if you're gonna win a fight. But then I started going into competitions like at Brawling Bourbon Streets and things around in my area where we could almost fight every weekend. And I did. Let me tell you, I did. I had 6 in a week one time. Um, I would fight as much as I could. I'd get right off of work and go right to a fight. I have guys pick me up and take me to the fight, you know. But then I ended up going 23-4. I lost my 23rd match, got knocked out. Uh, I did. The guy took it serious. I wasn't. I was just fighting. That was basically my training. And the turning pro, you can't do that turning pro, and that made a rough start to my career. So then pro MMA, I'm 30, 25-1. I got into the bare knuckle, so I'm 0-1 in bare knuckle. I lost in October. There's a lot of things leading up to that, and I just could not persevere and come over the top and did not fight my fight, and I lost against a tough guy. And then kickboxing, now 3-3 as pro kickboxing, fighting in Glory, Lion Fight, and then XFN. So all these different
Dude,
places, you know.
No, but I mean, it's a lively career, a long career, and that's why that bit of golden leather, right behind you. That's why it means so much because it's a long tenured career, and you've always had we've been Facebook friends for a couple of years, and you've always had a bright like disposition, and wins, loss, or whatever. It was just like you were so positive, and I just, I gotta when I saw it come across my timeline, I shed a tear because I was just like, I know how much that meant to you, and like, on UFC Fight Pass, and having Frank Mir, that you had it for over the weekend, the profile with the profile picture with you and your coach and Frank Mir with the title belt strapped around your waist, with your green, sponsored tee. That was just like, that was everything. That was, and not to say that your career is over, not by a long shot, but again, to kind of etch your notch in the heavyweight division, in combat sports. That was just so cool to see.
Yes. Speaking of like heavyweight, like when I first started, like I was like the little guy, I was like 170, but at my height, I just like stick and bone at 170. And I remember a lot of guys like, oh, you're not gonna be a UFC fighter. You're not gonna fight in any of that, dude. You're too skinny to be one of those guys. And and look, now I'm a heavyweight champ. I was just like, it's awesome. Just to be a heavyweight champ. So a
Yes,
professional heavyweight champ.
yes, the champ is here, 100%, 100%. And Jesse Velasquez, he says, how many fights in a night? Like three in a night. That takes a lot of heart and balls to fight, more than one fight a night. That's wild. Mad respect from Jesse Velasquez. So there's that, and he also said, "You are the heavyweight Donald Cerrone."
Oh, yes. Cerrone, I've met Cerrone a couple times already. The guy's, he's the same way. And like, I mean, that's how, like, if I had to say somebody's career as far as to compare myself wise, fight wise, not career wise, because look, he's in UFC, but just how we look at fighting. Fighters fight, man. Like what you want, when you want. That's what we do. That's what a fighter is. But now you got all these like athletes. Now it's like over the years we've watched it grow from being this martial artist versus this type of martial artist to then it became MMA versus MMA. And then now it's like athlete versus athlete. But like fighters, dude, we just get in there and fight, win or lose. I'm going out on my shield or I'm coming out victorious.
No, I think it's absolutely brilliant, and again, I just, the scenario that you were playing, so, for this, championship win, it was, again, I just think about all the kind of naysayers that go like, oh, I don't watch it anymore, it's too powder puff. And the fact that they would say like, combat sports in any respect is powder puff is just insane. But I digress. The fact that they're like, oh, we want to see those in the one night tournaments and whatever. Again, that's how you got your title belt. That's how you got your championship win, is fighting three fights in the night, and and especially during this kind of crazy time of quarantine and all this crazy stuff that's going on the world over, and you were the canary in the coal mine to get your bit of light, your bit of gold, and there it is.
Yeah, it's crazy with how the world is right now with everything going on. I mean, all the like, not just like what's going on for us, but I mean for the kids that aren't going to school and doing things that we did when we were young. Like if I wanted to run out across a couple blocks away or whatever, ride my bike across town, I could. Now, like you can't let your kids do that. Like without, I mean, you can't. Like it's tough. It's tough for them. And and just tough for everybody from business owners to no matter what color race you are, it's tough, you know. And but in the fight sport, you know, we look like I like no matter what color you are, like I love you. You're my friend. You know what I mean? Like you bleed the same colored blood I bleed. Like that's how I look at it. You know, everything else aside, but like this fight has been rescheduled so many times and things got shut off as far as like gyms and things like that, so it did make it tough um, to train. A lot of the times I run by myself, I train by myself, but I do have a good group of guys to, hey, you need some sparring, I'm there. You know, I got my guy Daniel James fighting over for in Europe for ACB, um, over at MTC in Schaumburg, Illinois, where he's from, Midwest Training Center. The guy is very humble, respectful, and he's big. He's like a giant compared to me. He's like, you know, he's like 6'5", 6'6", like 290. You know, but he'll come in and get some sparring with me. You know, get me ready for my fight, and I help him get ready. And that's what it's about. It's about that mutual respect to help each other grow. You know, and achieve our dreams. You know, take care of our families.
No, 100%. And I love that you said it, because the combat sports, for people that aren't in our world, whether it be jujitsu, Muay Thai, kickboxing, MMA, what have you, karate, or whatever, right? This is the only place where you know literally people from every walk of life, every political preference, every sexual preference, every ethnic genealogy, and everything like that, and we come together when we step on the mats, and it's just, you're my brother, you're my sister. All right, let's get in some work. Like, we sweat together, we bleed together. You said that, it's absolutely true. The fact that we all bleed the same blood. Well, we definitely shed that blood droplets in the cage, in sparring sessions, and even in jiu-jitsu sparring sessions, hard rolls, you catch a knee to the face, and we bleed together, but we also laugh, we cry, we go through the range of emotions together. And it's just like, i I oftentimes want the outside world that aren't in our circle to kind of come in and see what we're doing and go like, hey, this is what we should be. All of the politicians, whatever, you guys go do jiu-jitsu together, figure it out, and watch, everything else will kind of evaporate.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's just crazy how when you go to the gym and like all that stuff's out the window, and then we got this coronavirus thing going too, and I mean that's tough. That was a very, because I'm coming from Chicago, Atlanta area, so I'm flying out of Midway or O'Hare. This fight was Midway, and I'm going out to Oklahoma, and I mean the airplane rides to and everything. Everybody's got face masks. Our seats are were spread out pretty good, and then at the fight, XFN, the guys over there, Dale Cook and his whole team, they were very, because it was at a casino and everything, a resort. They took all the extra precautions to make sure all of us fighters are safe, so we can go home safely to our families, and not bring anything back. And even the fighters, all the fighters followed these guidelines, and to Dale Cook and XFN's guidelines. And I mean, it was a great turnout, and just to get the fight sports back going, from not just like the bigger ones where, like, not every show can have a fight island, which would be awesome, but they can't, But UFC's got Fight Island, but we don't have that out here. So but just to be on a show that was able to keep us do that and let us go out and do what we love to do was awesome.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. And you got to give it up to the staff of that promotion to kind of making things happen. And like you said, it got called off. a litany of times, I think like 4 or 5 times, and to finally get to a point where you guys could make it happen, and the stars align. It's amazing, and obviously, there's a litany of, I mean, everybody's kind of struggling to some respect, right? Whether you're a frontline worker, or whether you're stuck at home, with the kids over a summer that essentially they can't go outside, or so to have this happen, and I think it's a pretty fitting and apropos that the first sports to come back were MMA and combat sports. There's a couple of jiu-jitsu tournaments that are happening, kind of, nationwide, like kind of low key streaming. Obviously UFC and Bellator are back. There were a couple promotions, regional promotions in Florida that were doing shows. So it's just really cool to know that, again, our community came together and figured something out to make sure everyone is safe, and you guys could do what you guys were born to do, essentially.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Now, in terms of the scenario, right? Because obviously, as you said, you're out in Illinois, right, in Chicago area, and you had to go down to Oklahoma. So, talk us through some of the stuff that happened to kind of make it all come together.
Um, uh, for how that goes, I mean, we had to do the plane ride and everything, which they all require you to have your face masks. We brought hand sanitizer, stuff like that to be safe. Uh, for the seating, where everybody's spaced out. There's no middle seats were taken. Um, and then so it was me and my cornerman, Danny Granny from MMA Stop, but he's the seat over. So we're all spaced out, nice and good. You got flight attendants, got the latex gloves on. They got other masks on. They asked that all passengers had their masks on. So I mean that was great there. As far as getting to the actual casino and everything, Dale had a team come and pick us up, and same thing with them. They're all face masks and hand sanitizer and all that stuff. And then same at the hotel, we got our tests. Always doing our temperature tests and stuff like that. Plus masks, and you have the option to do gloves and everything too. And just to be in that environment with everything going on and know that hey, everybody's doing this safely, so that we're good. I mean, that was very like respectful and beneficial for me. Especially I got 5 kids. I don't want to have some shit and bring it home, and either I get hurt or kids get hurt. Because that would be a huge downfall. But just because they did everything proper, we were able to go out and do, like you said, what we're supposed to do.
No, and again, those precautions, that means a lot. The fact that they put you guys as fighters and their personal staff first, that's amazing. Now in terms of the scenario at the casino, I kind of saw. I mean, were there fans?
Yeah. So Dale and XFM team, they had the option to have. I thought he said full capacity or half capacity, but what he did is he only cut it down to a third, and so that there's even more spacing. And then the same thing with masks and everything. He had the audience wear masks and whatnot too, and all the staff. As you see ringside and all that stuff, they all had masks and everything too. So very professional, on their part.
No, 100%, and it showed. It absolutely showed. Now, I have to ask one thing, because it was a little bit of controversy that happened when you won, because and shout out to the ring announcer. Freudian slips do happen, but you weren't an, even though you had won, you weren't announced as the winner. Now, obviously, what was going through your mind? Because obviously, it ended up being proven that you did enough to win that, championship gold and secure it and the winner's purse. But what was going through your mind when the first thing, and it was announced that your opponent won?
Well, that was very crazy. I remember standing there. You know, we're in the middle. You got the ref has your hand. He has your opponent's hand, and I just kept thinking, like, man, Rob, why did you not shift gears? Why did you not change it up just a little bit more? Go for that knockout. You left it up to the judge again against the hometown guy. You know, and you look at my record, and every decision that I've lost has always been to the hometown guy. And it's just like even when I do enough, it's just not enough in the judge's eye. You know, like I'm rocking this guy or I'm taking him down every time or whatever it may be, but it's still the hometown guy. You know how they, it's just that's how it goes. And I just skated out the victory over Randy Blake, which that was shocking. I know first round he had it. Second was very split edge, and then third round I picked it up more, and then we had that overtime edge where it was like I got 1 minute to seal the deal, and I knew I had to do something. I dug deep and tried to get the knees in the clinch game and everything going, and it just happened to get that, and then I would go into the main fight versus Mario Dennis, who's a class act guy, and I mean he's a great kickboxer, and I go against him, and then we go all 3 rounds, and I'm trying to get all my shots, and I know that he's got power. I've seen his power. I've seen his technique and his combinations. They're pretty wicked. Um, so I know they can come out of nowhere at any moment. So I was kind of hesitant to leave myself like over too far on something, and then just to go to decision, it's like, man, Rob, you fucked up, and then they said corner, and I'm like, and then in the video you could look at me, look at my wrist, like, but I'm red corner. Why they say blue? And then he's celebrating, and I'm like, I did this to myself. I left it to the judges. Dana White always anything. It's like, damn it, Rob, what'd you do? And then they're like, no, no, we say Rob Morrow. And then I had to look at his paper to see like what it said blue corner, Rob Morrow. I'm like, no way. Like they finally see it. It was just awesome. I felt bad for DeMario because what if it was I was in his place? You know what I mean? But but I knew like I knew I was landing punches. I knew I was landing what I needed to land, and just for that to happen was just amazing. Just to top off the night. It's already just had 3 crazy fights, in 2 hours, and then for that to happen, it was just like, whoa, this is unbelievable.
No, 100%. And yes, I, I, I actually saw the moment where you even look in a bit of disbelief, like looking at the ring announcer's card, and you're like, oh wait, hold on. Like, there's like a seismic shift that happens, and it was just so cool to see. But again, shout out to Demario because I mean he was. It was like a collision course, like an old school collision course. It's like Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. It was just like you guys in that tournament, you guys had both etched your mark, and it was just like bam, 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 and it was just like, oh my gosh, this is it was really cool. And again, not to besmirch any of the other competitors, right? But as it started to go by second fight, we're like, oh my gosh, we're getting Rob Morrow versus Demario. Like that is the fight that everybody wanted to see, and it was every bit a fitting championship bout. It was so beautiful. So that was really nice. It was cool.
Yeah, I agree there. And like I said, all the fighters talked to, great guys. And they all came out to do their thing, you know. And just to know that I came and did mine and ended up being the champion, it's awesome. You know, my kids love it. Everybody. I mean, it's a belt. You know, like you go to like the average person, yeah, it's a belt, whatever. You know, but like to us, like that's what we fight for. You know, that's our glory. You know.
No, 100%. That had to be a cool moment. So, I mean, what after the fight, I mean, did you kind of stay in Oklahoma, or did you make a beeline right back home?
No, like I usually like go fights. Usually, like so. This one we actually flew out. Last two times I fought here, we drove, and it's about a 10.5 hour drive. Last time I fought here, I fought Myron Dennis, the Moore brother. It went to decision. I thought I had the win, but the judges gave it to him. And I mean, even Frank Mir thought I had it. It was kind of cool talking to Frank Mir after that. But no, he win, and that's me. You know, I'm the one to blame for that, for letting it go to the judges. And when it shouldn't, I need to execute my skill, and live up to my nickname, the Destroyer. You don't destroy somebody by going into a decision. You destroy them by knocking them out, by making them quit, or by submitting them. You know what I mean? But no, I didn't live up to the nickname for that fight, and I lost, and it sucked because I was on just a great, I was on a great scale going up, winning more and everything else. I was on like a 4 or 5 fight win streak up to that, and then that happened. So I only have myself to blame for that. But yeah, usually after the fights, we go home. I jump in the car, drive home or whatever, because I'm awake, I'm wired, I'm replaying the fight in my head so much, and like what I could have done right, what I did do right, what I could have done better, but just to actually this time, so we stayed the night. We got to hang out with Frank Mir after fight at the after party. Talk with him and stuff, kind of pick his brain a little bit, which is always good. Being a two-time UFC heavyweight champion, and then get some rest, and then fly home the next day so I can see my family, um, which is which is great when I get home. You know, to see my wife and kids. You know, they're the ones that I do it for a lot. Besides myself, you know, you got to do it for yourself first and foremost, but and then your family after that. You know, and you know, especially if you got kids, it gives them something to look up to, and you know, not all. I'm not saying all my kids are going to be fighters or something, but it helps them for whatever sport or whatever career path, things that they want to be and achieve in life. You know, like to persevere and go through the obstacles and follow your dreams. You know.
No, I think that's absolutely, I mean, pivotal, you know, and especially, I mean, were your wife and kids watching on UFC Fight Pass, or was it something that you guys kept on the mom until daddy came home with the gold? Like, what was that like?
Oh no, they were watching. You know, like first thing after the fight, my wife messaged, you know, from congratulations and stuff. But she's like, Hunter, he's my youngest, he's 7. She's like, oh, he's wondering where you're. And I'm like, well, yeah, they didn't put it on in the ring, you know. Frank Mir didn't put it on or nothing. So, but I'm like, no, I got a belt, I gotta go get it, you know. And Dale Cook and the team, they went and got the belt and gave it to me. So I mean, he's super excited for that. You know, I mean, for their kids, you know, for their dad to get the belt, you know, that's awesome. You know, but no, yeah, the kids were all watching. My wife was watching. You know, she probably a nervous wreck. Um, And we just had a lot leading up to this fight. The day I flew out for this fight was our wedding anniversary. It was our ninth anniversary. But leading into it, I'm like, hey, I have a chance to go compete for a title and $10,000. I know it's our anniversary, but this is something I really want to do. And for her to let me do that shows a lot. It's our anniversary. It should be about us and things like that. But hey, can you drop me off at the airport on our anniversary? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of different. She did it, and I'm glad I was able to bring home the win and go from there. Just to have that support from her and the family, and then all my sponsors, and then I've got I work construction. I'm in union, and just to have the union brotherhood from electricians to laborers, carpenters, everything, all supporting me too, is always huge. Because they know the work that we do is a physical, strenuous job, and then to go do this type of activity after work is mind boggling to a lot of these guys. Like, dude, why don't you go to the bar? Like, let's go to the bar, or why don't you go do this? Like, go home, go take a nap. I'm like, no, I like to go to the gym, get my workout in, and then go hang out with my family or what it might be. And a lot of people don't see like why we do that. Well, I make that time in my day. It's time management. I don't want to spend 8 hours a day for a company and then I don't follow any of my dreams or goals or anything that I want to live for. So I have to find time for that. Whether it's just stretching and meditating or going to the gym or boxing or doing jujitsu, you got to find time for yourself to better yourself. Otherwise, you're living for somebody else's goal. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%, 100%. Yeah, first and foremost, you gotta figure yourself out. You can't, look to others to try and fix you. You can get support, but essentially everything that you do, good or bad, it's because you want to do it or you made a decision, conscious decision to do such. And but happy anniversary to you and your wife. That just kind of shows the love and support that you have, obviously, not just from her and your kids, but also the just your community at large. So I want you to take some time to get some shout outs out of the way, like your sponsors, your family, because obviously you step into the cage alone, but you've got a throng of support behind you.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. Give a shout out to my wife first and foremost, pushing me. When I'm feeling tired or when I don't feel like eating properly. It's like I'd like to eat a freaking pizza right now or something, but she's like, nah, this is your meal prep that I made for you, or this is your lunch that I made for lunch for tonight when you work or during the day, whatever. For her, always sticking true to that. All my kids, from my oldest to my youngest, Keely, Logan, Jaden, Riley, Hunter, um, and always live your guys' dreams. Whether my sons, you guys are in Taekwondo, my oldest in cheerleading, and then I got football and baseball and wrestling. You guys, enjoy what you guys are doing. Shout out to all my sponsors from I've got Green Therapy CBD, I've got Click Nutrition, CEO Nutrition, MMA Stop, gym that I'm at, Sizzles, Union Brotherhood, then my local 68 Laborers Union. Shout out to all you guys. My work that I work for, John Burns Construction Company. Thank you, all you guys there, for giving me the opportunity to take off work and go do this, knowing how much it means to me. Um, and Yeah, if I forget anybody out there, I'm sorry. Daniel James over at MTC for the sparring. Danny Mulraney and everybody at MMA Stop for holding it and helping me train and get prepped for this. I really appreciate you guys. And then thank you for having me on this show. I really appreciate it. The opportunity to share my ups and downs and withdraw, things I've gone through. I really appreciate it.
Dude, I appreciate you, my man. And I can't wait to see. Obviously, you're still in the honeymoon phase, so I can't. We don't know when the next fight's gonna be, but when it happens, I can't wait to see what you're gonna do. And I hope we can have you back on, or even before or after, because this is great. You're great. Your family's great. I just appreciate you for coming on. And for those who haven't already followed the new Extreme Fight Night champion, heavyweight champion, winner of a one night 8-man tournaments. Where can they find you, Destroyer Rob Morrow?
Find me on Facebook under Robert Morrow, or you can go to my fan page, The Destroyer Rob Morrow, or my Instagram, Rob Morrow May, and what is that? Yeah, Instagram, or my Snapchat or whatever. Just look for me, find me there. Appreciate it.
Dude, we appreciate you, man. We can't wait to see what the Destroyer is going to do the next time he steps into the cage. So definitely follow him. I have, you should too. But for the Destroyer, Rob Morrow, this has been According to Woods. Oh, yeah, and follow Click Nutrition too. It's got a dope logo. That's an awesome logo. So follow them, and we'll see you guys later. We are out.
Thanks.
Bye.
Sweet.